Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Tech on Campus. I'm your host, Jen Drake, and I'm excited to share a little bit more about a brand new app called HeelPlan. It's a student-led app designed to simplify and make more student-friendly the process of course and degree planning for our undergraduates at Carolina. Let's listen in to the thoughts from our experts and design team, myself, Grace Bernard, and Riley Johnson. Hope you enjoy. First up, I'll tell you why we chose this project.
As a business analyst for the enrollment division, I learned from my colleagues that there's a gap in the availability and usability of tools that are currently available to students to help them plan their degree completion. While I then connected with a few students to learn of their pain points and approaches to degree planning, I thought that digging into this topic with Grace and Riley would produce some really helpful insights. I hope to apply what we've learned to an upcoming transformation project where we're exploring a technology tool to make this planning so much simpler for students.
Hey, Grace, would you tell us about how the process for developing HeelPlan went for your team?
The process to create HeelPlan really began with the students. We wanted to find out where the holes were in what is currently being offered for student planning and use those holes to kind of guide what we needed for our app. And so we reached out to students through a survey and picked up on their current practices with course planning, seeing what resources they use and what resources they don't. And then offered areas where people could submit their feedback. And then with that, we then created our app with all the features that it has and using our analysis tools, including Porter-Side Forces, the ecosystem, and user journey. It really just informed us how to best make this app that serves the students well. And then after creating the prototype, we reached out to students for feedback. And with that feedback, we now have areas where we can even improve more. And then lastly, we just created some marketing collateral in order to roll this out to the students in the best way possible.
Riley, would you share a couple of takeaways that were key in your development of HeelPlan?
The first is the critical importance of getting the app prototype up and running as quickly as possible. The thing is that much of our survey design um, came from questions that we had when we started developing the app prototype. And the second key takeaway is the importance of the surveys and taking the survey results into account when designing the app prototype. So, in that sense, it's cyclical and iterative.
To close out our podcast, let's check with Riley, Grace, and Jen to find out what were the key takeaways of HeelPlan and the development process.
What surprised me most about this project was probably the difficulties associated with designing the survey. You'd think it would be trivial and straightforward, but many of the questions were complex to figure out, and also it was complex figuring out exactly how the question should be worded in terms of should it be a fill in the blank box or should it be multiple choice or rank order or something like that. So that turned out to be more difficult than I thought.
I was really surprised by the amount of students who take their own time to create these 4-year plans for themselves, whether it be in Excel or whatever platform they choose. I was surprised that these students are really going out of their way to plan, which really shows that there is a need and a desire for an app like the one that we've created.
In analyzing the survey results, I was surprised that most students consult their friends in their major or minor much more frequently than they do checking with their academic advisor or even their parents, and that their friends are actually their primary consult in terms of planning their upcoming schedule. The other thing that surprised me was how frustrating it was for students that the tools in Connect Carolina were not visually appealing and easy to use. They liked the functions, but it was really cumbersome and probably a little more difficult to navigate than it really needed to be. And so I think that identifies a really important gap in our usability. I surely hope you've enjoyed today's episode of Tech on Campus. And I'm your host, Jen Drake, and stay tuned for more details coming soon about HeelPlan and how it can help you plan your Carolina undergraduate degree. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe with the link below.